Welcome to Your Future Starts Now, the go-to podcast for extraordinary women who are ready to step into their next chapter with authentic confidence. I'm your host, Gia Lacqua, empowerment coach, motivational speaker, children's book author, and girl mom. Whether you're a corporate powerhouse or an entrepreneur, this show is designed for you. Your Future Starts Now is more than just a podcast. It's a movement towards rewriting the rules of success for high-achieving women. Are you ready to get unstuck and step into your next chapter? If so, you're exactly where you need to be. Your future starts now. Welcome to Your Future Starts Now. I'm your host, Gia Lacqua. Thanks for joining us today. First, I just want to take a moment to thank all of our listeners. Whether this is the first episode you're tuning into, you've listened to a few episodes, or you're a loyal listener and tune in every week, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for taking the time out of your day. And you are the reason that we do this show. And so I truly appreciate you tuning in. And I recognize there are a lot of podcasts out there. So I want to thank you for being here. Today, I would love to talk about strategic planning. We talk about strategic planning all the time in our corporate lives, in our work planning, in our leadership roles. But what I find so fascinating is that we rarely dedicate the same time and energy to strategic planning in our personal lives. So it made me curious how and why we're strategic leaders at work, but we fail to apply the same type of strategic thinking in our personal lives. And I want to kind of explore and unravel why this happens and what we can do to shift it and what benefits that can have. So, as high achieving women, we excel at being strategic in our professional roles. That's probably part of what drove you to your leadership role in the first place. We are able to set clear goals, develop detailed plans, and we execute. We manage teams, we lead projects, and we know how to navigate really complex challenges. We know how to drive results. But when it comes to our personal lives, we often struggle to apply the same level of thinking. And I can't help but wonder, why does that happen? Why do we neglect strategy in our personal lives? So I think there's a couple of reasons to this. First is we prioritize at work and at our home lives very differently. So at work, strategic planning is sort of ingrained in our roles, whereas in our personal lives, we're more reactive to the immediate tasks, the immediate responsibilities that often take precedence, which doesn't really allow us to do more of the long-term planning. Another consideration is the imbalance. We view work as a realm of structure and strategy, and there's a prescriptive way that you do things to achieve results. Now, on a personal level, it's less prescriptive, right? Life is seen as a space for relaxation and spontaneity, and less planning maybe is needed. And that can lead us to really neglect planning in our personal lives. The other thing that comes to mind is the emotional overload. So our personal lives are filled with emotions and relationships, which often makes it a lot harder for us to approach them with the same objective, strategic mindset that we use at work. In addition, we expend so much of our time and energy at work that when we come home to unwind, right, when you take off your bra at the end of the day and put on your slippers, the last thing you want to do is sit down at a computer and start strategic planning at 7 o'clock at night. So I think there's a lot of reasons why we don't think to do that in our personal lives the same way we do it in our professional lives. But I think it's important to take a moment to reflect on the benefit and the value that strategic planning can have in our personal lives. And I'm not saying that it's going to look the same. It's certainly not going to be done with the same type of rigor, intensity, maybe even frequency, right? And you can make it look like whatever you want it to look like. But when we think about success for women, and we talk about redefining success on this show pretty much every episode. If you want to forge your own definition of success, you have to plan around that. You have to plan for it. You have to work towards it. And so, unless we map out what holistic success looks like to ourselves, it's very hard to work towards that goal. So, I do think that without strategic planning on a personal level, we are at a greater risk for burnout, dissatisfaction, and being left unfulfilled, right? So I think it's important to set our goals and priorities on a personal level the same way we do professionally. The other thing is our well-being. So it helps us to be able to prioritize the things we need to do, the things we want to do to help build resilience and spend time with our family and maintain a healthy work-life balance while doing the things that we talk about in the back of our minds, or we think about doing but don't actually get to do. The passion projects, the side job, whatever it is that you want to pursue. Another thing is productivity, right? When our personal lives are well organized, and this is sort of where time and energy management come into play, we can bring our best selves to work and all of our other roles. So it can enhance our overall productivity and satisfaction. So then it begs the question, how do we apply strategic thinking to our personal lives? So again, I think it comes down to, what are your personal goals? What are the things you want to accomplish? And what does the time frame look like for those goals? Is it 1 year down the road? Is it a 2-year, 3-year plan, 5-year plan, a 10-year plan? What are the things that are important to you that you want to accomplish and you want to achieve? And what is the timeline that you want to set for yourself? Then I think outlining the steps that you need to take in order to achieve those goals, right? Breaking them down into smaller, manageable tasks and steps, whether it's taking a course, reading a book, joining a new network of people, starting your LLC, saving, dedicated savings plan, whatever that might look like. What are the steps you need to take in order to get there? Because oftentimes we think about these lofty goals that we have and we don't ever get started because they seem unattainable. They seem overwhelming. So if we can break those down into smaller, manageable steps, it's not so daunting. You also want to incorporate, as we sort of talked about before, the self-care, right? What are the things you are doing for you in your strategic plan to refuel yourself? And how are you making sure that you get time in your day, week, month to do the things that really rejuvenate you, whether it's exercise or hobbies or spending time with certain people, starting a new project? How are you ensuring that that is baked in to your plan so it doesn't fall to the wayside? And then I do think it's important to reflect and adjust, right? So it's not really enough to just say on New Year's Day, these are my goals for the year. I think it is important to build a plan around it with your timelines, with your stepwise approach to how you're going to achieve them, and then set a schedule for yourself. Maybe it's a quarterly check-in. Maybe it's a monthly check-in where you regularly sit down and review your personal goals, your strategic plan, what needs to shift, what needs to adjust, and you can be flexible with it, right? Sometimes timelines change, finances change, right? Unforeseen circumstances happen. So reflecting on where am I and how are things going is going to be absolutely critical to make sure that you are shifting and adjusting as you progress. I would also make sure you're leveraging all the resources. There are so many resources out there today. Freebies you can download. You can Google almost anything to get a form, a tool, an app, a planner, strategic frameworks to keep track of your personal goals and your progress. And so, certainly there are a lot of free resources. Also engage the help of a coach if that's helpful for you to keep you on task, help think through what those goals are, and help with accountability. Whether it's a friend or a coworker, somebody you trust, it's always nice to have an accountability partner and someone you can talk through these goals with as well. So in conclusion, I want to just emphasize the importance of strategic thinking, not just at work in your leadership role, but really strategic thinking in your personal life, because I do believe that that is one of the most important things that you can do in order to achieve holistic success in your life. And so by applying the same strategic mindset that you use at work to your personal life, you can create a more fulfilling, balanced, and sustainable life. So I encourage you to visit my website at gialacqua.com. On the top of my homepage, you will find a brand new quiz. The quiz is called How Strategic Are You When It Comes to Your Life? It'll take about 2 minutes to take the quiz. You'll get your results, and you can read some more information on my website. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. We love to hear from listeners, so please feel free to reach out, direct message, email me. Let me know what you'd like to hear about on future episodes. And thanks for tuning in. Our mic drops, but the movement continues. Until next time, your next chapter is waiting. Take care.
That concludes another empowering episode of Your Future Starts Now. Before we wrap up, I want to thank this incredible community of high-achieving women. Your energy, resilience, and commitment to growth are the driving force behind what we do. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate it, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Your feedback fuels our mission to empower high-achieving women just like you. And of course, share Your Future Starts Now with the extraordinary women in your life who are also on a journey of healing and empowerment. Connect with us on social media, share your thoughts, let us know what topics you'd like to explore in future episodes. Stay connected on Instagram at gialacqua. I encourage you to carry the energy of this conversation into your day and keep on supporting the incredible women around you. Until next time, remember, your next chapter is waiting.